up, doll collectors, crafters, and miniature enthusiasts? On our 7 Quick Crafts video, you all really seem to love our tiny office that has a side that can open up, giving us more room to play. And it closes up for easy storage. So today, we are going to make a living room to match. And we are going to try to make our room using just one piece of foam board. Our foam board measures 20 inches by 30 inches. On the 30-inch side, I'm going to use a ruler to measure 7 inches from the edge, make a mark, continue going all the way down the foam board, then line the ruler up on the lines drawn and cut along the edge, dividing the foam board into what we are going to use for the walls and the floor. For the walls, trim 1 inch off the side, turn it over to the back, measure over 11 inches from the edge, score a line, being careful not to go all the way through the foam board so it can bend and stay together. Repeat on the other side to make a trifold. On the inside, we should have about 7 inches in the center. Cut 11 inches from the foam board we saved for the floor so it can fit in the center. Now, before we start gluing things together, we need to cut out a window. I cut out 2 windows and I completely shredded this one, so now we gotta find a way to clean it up. So I'm gonna glue strips of white paper going around the edge. Now that is so much better. Whenever I accidentally shred my foam board, this is my go-to move. It totally slows you down, but it'll give you great results. Cut clear plastic from packaging, tape it onto the back, take the cutouts, trim off any rough edges, cut them into 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch strips to glue around the window and across the center. When I cut the openings for the windows, I went 1.5 inches on either side and I have 2 inches between them. Then I did a 1/2 inch trim going around and a 1/4 inch across the center. So once everything is done, I have 1 inch space between the windows and the edge of the walls. And those windows are going to add a lot of light into our room, giving us some great photo opportunities. For this room, I'm going to make it the opposite of the first one, so this side swings open. So let's glue in the floor and make sure it can still close up for easy storage. So now our room is built. Now I want to make some built-in furniture. The foam I'm using for this project is not my favorite. It's a little soft and it shreds easily, but I plan on covering it, so it should be fine. So I'm going to take the leftover foam board and cut it into a couple of 2-inch strips. I cut one down to a 10-inch strip and a 3 3/4 inch strip. Glue them together to make an L shape that will eventually go into this corner. But first, let's cover it with fabric. I'm just hot gluing the fabric over the edges of the foam board. Once covered, I'm gonna glue another piece on the other end. This one doesn't need to be covered because it is going to go against the wall. But before I glue that down, let's glue down some flooring. I don't waste my paper on areas that won't be seen, since this is going to go right here. But I do want to clean up the inside, so I cut some more foam board, and we're just going to glue that right there. And on the other side. Then let's add a few pieces going across the center to divide the space, then glue it into the room, creating some storage in this space. And now we can take the cushions from our doll pillow fort video and place one of the long ones right on top, closing off the storage area and giving our dolls a place to sit or sleep. Now it is only 10 inches long, so they will have to bend their legs if they want to go to sleep. But I want this to also function as a couch, so we're going to need a few more cushions. So I'm going to show you how I made them in our pillow fort video. I recycled one of my yoga mats and I cut it into strips. Stack and glue them together, cover each side with fabric, by gluing it onto the sides. First, I do one side and then the other. I took a long strip of fabric, folded it over, and sewed it onto the sides to make a strip that we can glue around the edge. To make cushions that you can make in a variety of sizes for whatever you need. For my couch, I have a total of 3, one 10-inch cushion and 2 5-inch cushions. And it turned out to be a pretty decent size for our doll. But I think we need some pillows. I like using a post-it note for a pattern, place it onto the fabric, cut it out, make 2, then lay them good side to good side. Let's break out the sewing machine, and we are going to sew a straight line going all the way around the edge, leaving an opening so we can turn it inside out. But before I do, let's trim off those corners, making sure not to hit the thread. Then we can flip it. I use the end of a paintbrush to poke out those corners, add fluff, sew the opening closed to make pillows. We can place them on the couch. To me, it still feels like it's missing something. I was debating on putting arms on this couch, and now that I'm looking at it, I really want those arms. So I just used some leftover materials to make some tiny cushions. We can place them on the edge of the couch, and it looks like we have armrest. It's kind of like we made a couch out of building blocks. I'm not loving the look on the side. We need to cover that up. So let's make a throw. I have yarn and a crochet hook because we're gonna try and crochet this blanket. Warning, I am not great at crocheting, but over the holidays I was practicing, so hopefully I'm a tiny bit better. I'm gonna take my yarn and hold it, then take my crochet hook, bring it up from the back, twist it around to make a little loop. Yarn and pull it through that little loop. There we go. I'm gonna try to keep this a little bit looser so that it's not so difficult. And I'm just gonna do this repeatedly to make a chain. And this is a little easier for me to do when I don't have a giant camera in front of me, so bear with me. Once you get it to the desired length, I'm gonna turn and go back right in one of the loops that I just made, grab the yarn and pull it through, loop the yarn over it, and I'm gonna pull that all the way through. Now I go in again and just repeat. It's difficult with the camera in front of me. There we go. Repeat all the way down, then just continue with the same pattern going back and forth. I added a row going all the way around the edge to finish it off. Cut the yarn, pull it tight, and weave the excess tail of the yarn back through the project. It's not perfect, but it'll do. We can drape it over the arm, add a few pillows for a comfy, cozy spot. We still have a little bit of foam board that we can use for maybe shelves and some artwork. I cut the foam board into smaller pieces. Then I use poster putty to decide where I want things to go. I think I want to remove some of these pillows. Let's take this one out, move this one over, and let's make a floor extension real fast because I'm having a difficult time visualizing with this little tiny floor. To get a piece large enough, I did have to use another piece of foam board, but this is optional. You don't have to do this part. My foam board is 11 inches by 11 inches, and I'm just gonna glue down the same paper. Make sure it goes in the same direction. There we go. After covering it, if you find that your foam board is bending a lot, just cover the other side and it should help flatten it out. So now we have our extension and I feel like I can finally move on. And I placed my office space on the side so I can see how everything is lining up. I want it all to look pretty cohesive when it's all together. I moved the paintings around a little, take white computer paper, and let's paint a few paintings. I'm starting with a really light base color. This is like a really soft pale peach. Then we can just add a few shapes. And I'm just trying to keep all of the colors within my color palette. And there really is no wrong way to do this. Just paint whatever you like. Allow it to dry. Use the paper to cover the foam board. Glue coffee stirs or skinny sticks around the edge to make our mini paintings. I've changed the placement again. I like these two above the couch. And let's make an ottoman that can also function as a coffee table. I cut foam board into 2-inch strips. I have a 4 by 5 inch cushion, and I'm going to use the foam board to make a box that fits underneath. I glue the pieces together to make a box. I need to cover it with fabric, but I only have 2 little pieces left. So we're just gonna sew these together to make a longer strip. There we go. I place the seam on a corner and then cover the foam board to the best of my abilities. Wow, we barely made it there. Cut another piece for the bottom. I'm gonna glue that in place to make a covered box. And we can use a little bit of ribbon to cover up those raw edges so it looks a little neater. Then just place the cushion on top for extra seating and a coffee table with storage inside. Ooh, and it looks really good in the corner, creating like a little L-shaped couch. Let's see what it looks like if we remove this arm and then just have this pillow over here. Oh, that works for me too. Then we can lay the blanket across the ottoman or just put it back on this side. Choices. And if we don't want to use the blanket right now, we can always store it in the ottoman. Speaking of storage, I'm going to place a pillow and a sheet inside of the ottoman so we have extra bedding in case someone wants to take a nap. I want to put something on this wall, maybe a wall hanging. I have a little bit of that leftover wood paper. Let's trace a small semicircle on the back, cut it out, glue it onto recycled paperboard, cut it out, and repeat a few more times until you get the desired thickness. Mine is about 5 layers thick. Glue yarn or laundry line, whatever you want, to the back. This does take a minute to just neatly glue all of these little pieces onto the back. Once I've gone all the way across, I'm gonna place a circle on top. I'm using a doll table for my circle, and I'm gonna just trim off the excess yarn to the best of my abilities. It moved while I was cutting, so it's a circle-ish. I'm gonna use a little poster putty to attach it to the wall. All right, I like that. It added a whole nother shape to our space. Now we need plants. I'm using a toilet paper roll, cut it in half, trace it onto foam board, cut it out, glue it into the bottom, wrap it with yarn or twine to make a planter. Take a piece of cardstock or green paper, fold over one of the sides, about 1.5 to 2 inches. Cut a thin line near the crease. Then we're gonna go out and make half of a leaf shape. Now we need to cut small pieces out of the leaf. I'm using an X-Acto knife, and I'm just gonna cut a really thin line near the top and allow it to go to a point. And then cut out the next section right next to it. Now I'm gonna cut another one right next to that one. And make sure it goes to a point at the end. Then let's cut a little bit along the fold and cut another curve going towards the end. And hopefully you will start to see these really thin blades. We're just gonna keep cutting all the way down. So when we open it, it looks like a palm. Roll felt and place it inside. For the soil, place the stem of the leaf in the middle of the felt. Make more than one to create some palms for the room. On Instagram, one of our Fabsome besties wanted to know if I have ever printed a rug on velour paper. The answer is I've never tried, so let's try today. I have some velour paper. I like using the red and the black for like red carpet events. I buy it off of Amazon and you can find it in a variety of colors. This one is white. One side is fuzzy and the other side is not. So I'm just gonna put this in my printer and print out one of our printable rugs. Hopefully everything goes well. And we're back. And it worked! This is a picture of a rug I bought at Five Below a while back, and it's just so cool that I was able to print it on this paper because now it's fuzzy. Let's trim off the edges, then we can place it on the floor to just cover up the seam, you know, that one right there. The paper is curling a little, so I'm going to use a little bit of poster putty to just hold those corners down. I'm liking that. Now let's put one of the plants right here to just obstruct the view a little. Let's set up both rooms to see how it looks all together. Okay, so we have our little office space over there and now a seating area. My color scheme is kind of consistent, but now I'm wishing I chose a different wallpaper. Since that room is so busy, I don't feel like we need to add a lot to this space, but maybe a little tray on the ottoman would be nice. I have a little bit of that wood paper left, so let's cut out a circle, glue it onto a few layers of paperboard, then I unfold a paper clip, cut off one side, then bend it, then let's pull it to widen it just a little, glue it onto the sides, add another one to the other side to make a small tray for a book and a cup of coffee. So now we have two spaces that close up for easy storage. Each one has plenty of storage inside. We tried out some new techniques with our velour printed rug, and we made a new plant. The couch can be converted into a sleeping area where the cushions can be stored underneath. Add some bedding, and it's comfy cozy. We can even rearrange the cushions to give this living space a whole new look. I think Mini Toya likes it too. And when playtime is over, everything fits neatly inside until next time. So today, we made a new hidden doll room with seating. We crocheted a throw, made paintings, a new plant, an ottoman with storage, printed a fuzzy rug, and made a new wall hanging, giving us 8 new crafts. Thank you for joining us for another 7-ish quick crafts video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell and follow us on Instagram at MyFroggyStuff and the Frog Vlog. And we will see you next time. Happy crafting! Bye!